Hello, everybody. Welcome to AI Assistants Made Easy. We are starting 5 minutes late because I had to restart my internet, even though I live in a metropolis. So thank you so much for your patience. I am incredibly excited to dive into this with you today. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to explore all things AI with me. If you have been here before, you know I love nothing more than getting stuck into something super nerdy. And so we are going to be spending the next hour or so looking at all things AI assistants and hopefully giving you some inspiration for how your business can benefit from this technology and figuring out this skill set. So I've got some slides for you as part of this, and then I'm going to share my screen and we're going to have time for Q&A and all that good stuff as well. So if you haven't already, please do introduce yourself in the chat. It is always great to see where people are tuning in from. And if you are already building AI assistants, if you've used chatbots, custom GPTs, anything with AI powered tech, let me know that in the comments as well. I would love to hear. So once we have wrapped up with the live stream, you'll get access to the replay, and I'll send that out to you along with a fun little AI assistant because it's a bit meta. I'm not going to share it while I'm live because I don't want to be distracting, but you will get access to that sent via email. So keep an eye out for that, and you can go and have a play around and get some inspiration for how AI assistants could work for your specific business, including, your clients, your customers, whatever it is that you do. So it's good to see you all sharing a little bit more about yourselves in the chat. Keep an eye out for people who are local to you or near you or in the same industry as you. It's always fun to meet new people in the chat. So let me hit share screen, and we are going to dive right on over into my Canva slides, which will keep me on track and make sure that we all stay on the same page. So let's hit present, and then we're going to be good to go. So this is 8 assistants that you can build in 1 hour or less to scale your small business. But in classic True to Monextra form, it's actually 9 assistants because I couldn't help myself. So I added in an extra one. So we are seeing around us messaging that says use AI to make art, automate your graphic design, clone your favorite musicians and actors. Scarlett Johansson has got a lawsuit against OpenAI for the replication of her voice. And when it comes down to it, we're seeing corporate companies with stakeholders who are, hungry for more profit, get really excited about using AI for creativity and for the arts. But for the rest of us who live in the human world, we would rather automate the boring bits so that we can spend more time being creative and making the world a more beautiful place. We don't want to automate the creative bits of our businesses necessarily. We want to automate the things that are consuming the energy and the creativity and the time and the resources that we have that take us away from doing the things that we really love doing. So if you could get AI to handle any of the boring bits in your life, what would that look like? And do share that in the chat, and I'm going to figure out how to see my screen so I can see the chat while I'm also sharing this presentation with you. So let me do that while you're answering this question in the chat. Let me see if this works. Nope. I am a software person, not a hardware person. Let's just go for it. We're gonna just hang out here, and I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger, and then I'm gonna see what you're putting in the chat because I would love to hear it. So for me, automating the boring bits, the boring parts of my life, I have to say that moving the laundry from the washing machine into the tumble dryer would be great if we could get AI to figure some of that stuff out. So do share anything. It can be business, it can be life, but what are the boring bits that you would love to automate instead of the fun creative stuff? And let me know in the chat. So things like copywriting, social media, Brilliant. We're seeing loads of stuff. Automating tasks, reminding me to do them. Great one. Love that, Roz. Any laundry. Jessica, you do want to use AI for design. It is super helpful for that. CJ, reminders to clients to complete tasks. Love that. That's a whole separate train of thought for me to avoid going down there. Gosia, yes, buy one device. I will have to do that at some point. Meal planning and email deletion. Love that, Camille, as well. Maria, social media. Writing product descriptions, mock-ups for my photos, building funnels, setting up the tech for my weekly live events, podcast episodes. Love this. Great examples coming through from everyone there as well in a real mix. Now, some of you have mentioned things that I know think AI can do already. So I will do follow-up email with information about that, but I'm going to stay on track. So let's dive into introductions. My name is Menekşe, and the S has a little cedilla under it there, which is what the Turkish letter sh, and my name is phonetic. So Menekşe, as soon as you know that the S is a sh sound, it's easy to pronounce. I am a professional nerd, and if I haven't met you before, then it is nice to meet you. I've been a writer on the internet since 2005, and since 2022, I've been researching AI and building AI tools for 40 or more hours a week. And if I am completely honest with you, it is more like 70 or more hours a week because I am a workaholic and I love what I do. So I started out in SEO, and search engine algorithms underpin a lot of what we're seeing in the AI space as well, in terms of the evolution of technology and language and how we find stuff online. So that's, in a nutshell, how I have come to be here today. And I have built a tool called Marketing Magic that supports over 4,000 business owners with their marketing each month. So Marketing Magic is an AI-powered business growth tool, and it helps people unsubscribe from overwhelm and grow their businesses instead of their to-do list. And it very specifically focuses on the marketing side of things. So this workshop is looking at how you can build things for the rest of your business, because it's great to have the marketing covered. But what happens when you get all your marketing sorted and you've got 42 of your 99 problems sorted because your marketing is ticked off, but you've got all of these other administrative things that are taking up a lot of your time and energy? So if you are somebody who falls into one of these categories, this workshop is going to be of interest to you. This is not exclusive, but it is a good indicator that you're going to enjoy the next little while. So you might want to automate some of the energy draining or repetitive tasks in your business. You might want to be able to confidently create engaging and helpful tools for your customers or your clients. And you might be curious about terms like CustomGPTs and AI assistants and want to understand more about them. Now, if you are not feeling super tech savvy, do not worry, because I had not built an app until last year. We live in an age where information is much more easily accessible if you know what kind of questions you want to ask. And so this workshop is designed to help with that. So as part of prepping for today, I asked my AI assistant to give me some funny examples of 99 problems a small business owner might have. And I thought the responses were really funny. So I'm going to share some of these. Got 99 problems, but my to-do list has 999. That one made me laugh out loud. Got 99 problems, but the printer is always the top one. Got 99 problems, but finding the mute button on Zoom is my superpower. Got 99 problems, and one of them is that the cat thinks my keyboard is a bed. And yes, AI generated that. Also made me laugh out loud. So what are some of your 99 problems in your business? Now, we've already looked at this a little bit when we think about the tasks that we might want AI to handle for us, but that's really thinking about the boring bits of our life as well as our business. And if we think about some of the things that we're coming up against in our businesses on a regular basis, the things that we notice that are bottlenecks, the things that stop our momentum, the things that cause us to fall down a spiral or a wormhole into tasks that are not ultimately growing our businesses. Those things are the real areas of opportunity when it comes to creating AI powered tools to support our businesses, our brains, our audiences, and our lifestyles. So when we're thinking about building AI assistants, we want to understand what are some of our 99 problems that we want to fix. And we can go into building these assistants with a growth mindset of this is how we can improve this area and help it to serve us instead of drain us. So some more AI powered 99 problems for inspiration. Your to-do list is starting to look like a scroll from the Middle Ages. Your idea of a break is switching from one screen to another. You've had a dream that featured an actual spreadsheet. Your inbox has more drama than a soap opera. Your work-life balance feels like a myth you tell yourself. You've considered cloning yourself more than once. You go on a quick call and it ends up meaning let's talk for an hour and totally messes up your workday. So another question for you, and then we're going to dive into the assistants themselves. What would you do if you had at least an extra hour in your day every single day? What would you use that 1 hour for? Let me know in the chat, and I would love to see some of your responses come through and hear what you would spend that extra time doing. Yes, they are literally so funny, right? I was impressed. I was like, I've surpassed myself with a prompt on that one because the responses were very human indeed. Take a nap, love it. Rest, brilliant. One of the things that I wanted to highlight, and I was like, is this going to be relatable for people? Is do you ever get to that point in the day? It's like 3 p.m. and your brain just goes into sleepy mode. I end up, excuse me, I'm just going to have a quick drink. My brain is I always joke that I work 5 a.m. mornings, but 5 a.m. Eastern, and I live in London. So I actually start my day at like 10 a.m. But if you need someone with a miracle morning, then my miracle morning is Eastern. So I will start my day at 10 a.m. and by 3 p.m. my brain just goes into sleepy mode and I am literally 3 p.m., 5 p.m. If I haven't scheduled something that's like high energy, it's really hard to get my brain to focus. But often we can face, we're facing the option between resting and having a nap or taking some time away from our desk in the middle of a work day versus feeling like, oh, I have a to-do list that if I don't get this done or if one thing knocks it off, like I simply cannot do that. And what is it like if we design businesses that allow us to take a siesta, even if we don't live in a country where a siesta is socially acceptable? That is one of the questions that we can take away from this. So taking a bubble bath, self-care, sleep, napping or watching comedy, forage for herbs. Cindy, absolutely love that one. Take off to watch my kids' sports without having to work after. Love that. Gardening, profit generating activities, reading things that keep me up to date in my field. Gina, love that one. That is really, especially if you're somebody who enjoys reading and research, having an extra hour of time to do deep reading and thinking is absolutely invaluable when it comes to your joy as a business owner. Finish a crochet project. Brilliant. I'd spend the hour writing or creating, and if I needed a break, I'd head out to ride my horse. Karen, that sounds like the dream. TPM is siesta time. Brilliant. Jessica, I'd work more. I have to say, if I'm completely honest, I would also work more. So for me, I am like, great, I've got an extra hour to do things I actually want to be doing in my business. And for me, the joy is in the things that I am able to be doing and not the things I have to be doing. So when we're thinking through the opportunities that are out there, if we are able to save time, it could be that we get a huge amount of joy from going and exploring our hobbies or having time to rest. It could be that we want to spend that time doing the things that we love to do in our businesses. And it could be that it gives you that space to add in sales activities or marketing activities that there previously has not been capacity for in your business, space for relationships, for collaboration. And it's really important for us to get the vision and inspiration and joy of what is possible when we tackle these areas, because it can feel overwhelming when we're looking at new technology. It's a technology that has a lot of negativity attached to it in media, and there's a lot of uncertainty around it. And when we think about what life could be like instead of what it is like, instead of us designing our days around what we have to do, we can design a day that works for what we want to do. And we can use these emerging technologies to help us do more of that. So these are the questions that I always encourage people to start with when we're thinking about this idea of optimizing our businesses. If you could automate one part of your business, what would it be and why? Which tasks make you think there must be a better way? How often do you find yourself answering the same questions over and over again in your inbox, for instance, and just repeating yourself in your business? And what would you say to your website visitors if you had time to have one-on-one conversations with everyone who came to your website? Now, these types of questions are really helpful for exploration and for understanding what it really is that we're wanting to be doing, or what some of the biggest drains on our time and energy are. And they are just a few of the starting points that you can use when you think about how you base your AI assistants in your business. Where do you start with this? So custom GPTs and AI assistants are, if we provide a definition so that we're all on the same page about what they are specifically designed assistants that combine instructions, additional knowledge, and any combination of skills so that you can create a contextually relevant AI support system for even your most niche of tasks. So if we think about your client delivery, if you're a service provider, you're delivering a service to your clients, and you might have a really repetitive and time consuming but necessary piece of like data processing, where you're going through and analyzing something and you're wanting to get some takeaways from it. Regardless of how niche your own mental process is as you're going through that, you can create a tool that is specific for your business that helps you to process that information more quickly, without it being as time consuming. Can help with all kinds of things, right? So even if our businesses feel like they're too niche to use software that is off the shelf, we can take a core skill set and create our own tools very, very easily without having any technical ability beyond editing web pages. So if you've ever edited or started or created a web page on your own website for your business, you have got the skill set that is needed to be able to create some of these tools. That's how easily accessible this technology is becoming. And that's why it's a super exciting space for us to be in as business owners. So these can be processes that are internal and part of our daily work as a business, like within our business. Nobody else sees them or accesses them, but they're things that we're having to do that are taking up a lot of time, and we just want to speed that up and make it work more quickly. So it could be drafting email replies, processing your ideas, and performing different repetitive tasks. Or it could be external communication, like answering customer queries or sales questions where you are interacting with an ideal customer, a potential customer, or an existing customer or client, and pointing people in the right direction for what they need, or creating value-driven tools to help you engage and grow your audience. So in the rest of this workshop, I am giving you some inspiration for the different ways that you can use AI assistants in your business. And I will then also be sharing more about my new 4-week group program with an extra special bonus at the end. This is a webinar. It will be information about that program. The early bird bonus is maybe one of the best ones I've offered. So if you stick around, once we get to the end of the 9 different AI assistants we're going to be talking about, I'll share a little bit more information with you about that. And then we'll have some time for questions as well. So these are 9 of the different use cases for custom GPTs and AI assistants that you can build in 1 hour or less. And the impact of these in terms of time saved is incredible and substantial. So I am going to talk about all of them in a bit more detail, but to summarize the things that we're going to be talking about before we dive into them: personal shopper or sales assistant, email HTML builder, project planning and task management, tech assistant, lead magnet, event assistant, course assistant, brainstorming buddy, customer support. So some of these are things that I covered in the resource that I sent you before the workshop, the little Google document that has 8 different ways to use AI assistants. But these are a little bit more contextual, and there's some extra ones in here as well. And I switch some stuff around. So let's dive in. And I've got a little pun here because did you see what I did? I've got a little seal. See what I did there? Yeah. Lol. Right. So first things first, personal shopper or sales associate. You can train an AI assistant to know which areas of your business to send your ideal customers to. So if you are currently responding to a lot of emails that are guiding people through the sales process, or advising people on what they might need, or trying to design your website in a way that helps people find what they need, that can be quite a time-consuming process. And you are, personally guiding every person or many of the people who become your customers through your product or service catalog, answering questions, and you can often miss sales opportunities if you are not super hot in your inbox. If you create an AI assistant to help with some of this, you can specifically train it to advise based on your product line and what your customers' preferences are, and guide people to the best products that are based on their needs. So it recommends items, answers queries, and it could even upsell complementary products without you needing to be involved in that conversation until the customer has reached capacity. And what you normally see is that 95% of questions that people have can be answered by a well-designed AI assistant that can be interrogated about your products or services. So if you think about the time saved on emails, as well as then the ability for your customers to access information about what it is that you sell and what's relevant to them without having to overcome their own overwhelm, then you're looking at a saving of between 30 and 90 minutes a day. And the time saving really depends on the scale of your business. If you have a much bigger, more established business, your time saving on this area could be anything up to 4 or 6 hours a day. And it might be people within your team who are able to benefit from that time saving. So this second one, email HTML builder, I work with lots of people who love the aesthetics of their brand, and I am one of those people. And you can use AI and create an AI assistant that helps you with coding tasks and customizations that you would not otherwise feel comfortable with. So this example is specific to email HTML and making your emails look pretty, but you can also use this for platforms like Kajabi or Squarespace, where there might be limitations around how you customize a page, and you want to generate some custom CSS that aligns with your brand and that makes the page look pretty, that is not as boxed in as the sort of standard templates that you get with that software. So if you're struggling with HTML and coding for your email campaigns, you might spend hours trying to customize different templates and getting frustrated with the less than perfect results, because if you aren't a comfortable or confident coder, it is an extremely energy draining space to be, and it's a steep learning curve. So you end up embracing uglier emails than you would like to be sending, and just accept that until email builders get more aesthetic, that is just where you're at with things. If you use an AI assistant, you can train it specifically on your email provider in terms of the software and the capabilities of it, as well as the details of your brand, and create and customize your email HTML really effortlessly. All you need to do is describe what you want for that email, and then the AI can generate clean and responsive code for your email provider. This typically is going to save you about 2 hours per campaign if you're doing HTML in your existing emails. And if you're not, but you want to, it's a nice little value add piece that doesn't take a whole lot of extra time, but it does give you more creative control over how your campaigns look. Project planning and task management. Now, I have a lot of people in my audience who are neurodivergent and have ADHD. I'm one of those people as well. And when you are faced with managing your own projects, it can be very easy to get stuck in, overwhelmed just around how much is going on, right? You've got so many different things to manage, all the moving parts. If you struggle with like deadlines and calendar management and things like that, it can be a really overwhelming space to be in as a business owner. So if you are somebody who would enjoy having a plan, you can create project plans based on your capacity and your available resources so that you don't get stuck in the weeds with either it being too detailed or you needing to be the one who breaks it all down. So juggling multiple projects, manually creating plans, setting deadlines, tracking progress, all of those things are areas where it's very easy to get bogged down and miss either critical deadlines or overlook resource constraints and then end up in a spiral of like, well, I didn't plan this properly. Now I feel bad that I didn't reach that deadline and all of the stuff that goes with that. So having an AI assistant that has the relevant details about your business can really help you with creating more detailed project plans so that your current capacity and your resources are honored, and you can create realistic time boundaries and time blocks for getting things done. It's really helpful to be able to get task breakdowns for areas where you might know that something needs to be done, but you're not 100% sure how to go about doing it. And you can also have an assistant set up where you can just keep going back to it and adding in the progress, and then that assistant can keep you on track and make recommendations for what to prioritize as things are checked off the list as well. I've put time saved 2 hours per week in this one because it really depends on what projects you're working on and how big they are. But realistically, bigger projects, you might be saving much more time than that because you're able to reduce the gap between context switching. So you're not having to go from task A to task B with 45-minute gap to recalibrate yourself in between. You're able to collapse that time down. So depending again on how you work and what works for your business, that is a conservative estimate of 2 hours per week, but it could be more than that. And sometimes if it's a smaller project, it might be less than that. Using it as a tech assistant is one of my favorite things to talk about because it just is not something that you necessarily would realize is possible. But if you get stuck with the tech stack side of things as a business owner, you've got your website, your email service provider, your social media scheduler, your Zapier tool, your automation tool. There's all of these different things that we are using, and the combination of them, if you have cart software, affiliate software, course software, all of these different things mean that even if you have very similar software to somebody else, one difference means it's a completely different set of business soup. Right? The ingredients that make up your tech stack can be very, very nuanced and niche, and you can face problems with setting things up because of two tools not talking to each other that it's very hard to get contextual and relevant support for. So AI is a really great way to create a tech assistant that can provide advice and next steps based on your project's tech stack, based on the tech stack that you have in your business, based on the different softwares that you're using. So whether you have a website glitch or a software update, if you are having to dive into WordPress and all of the plugins and figure out what is talking to what and how to get that sorted, you are spending a lot of time in the weeds of something that is not your expertise. And AI is a really great way to process that information and just give you a takeaway and say, do this thing to fix it. You don't need to know how to fix it. You just need to know what you need to do to fix it. So it's really a helpful space to have an AI assistant where you can describe what the issue is and then get some very contextually relevant support back from that assistant for how to tackle the problem and what the step-by-step actions are that you need to take, which helps you get back much more quickly to your business's core activities without the tech headache. This, again, time saved 90 minutes per week. But one of the things that I've noticed with this, when I've been, using this and setting this up with people, is that you will do more in your business because tech is no longer an overwhelming thing for you, or it no longer feels like a bottleneck. So the time saved is great, but also it improves your confidence levels significantly because your feelings about your skills are no longer an issue that is holding you back. You know that you can crack on and figure out a way to do it, and you're not just kind of isolated in your tech overwhelm. The next one is a lead magnet, and this one's slightly different in that it is more outward focused, but it is designed to rethink the idea of what a lead magnet could look like. So I've done this with a couple of different resources now, where you create a tool or resource that your ideal audience can engage with, and then use that as a way to grow your email list. And I created a test case, and it was it's very meta, but I created an email segmentation tool, AI assistant, that people could opt in. It would give them recommendations on how to segment their email list, and then that would basically grow my email list, because it's an email segmentation tool that's growing my email list, right? So when we look at PDFs, lead magnets and workbooks and things like that, we can manage a little bit of the engagement side of things. Like, we can see that people have opened an email, that they've clicked on a link, but we don't necessarily know what action they've taken once they've opened the lead magnet. And sometimes they might not even get around to it, because actually they've gotten 100 PDFs this year. Maybe they've signed up for 80 webinars and over the course of their business, and it's a format that is very formulaic. So if the topic is super of interest, so like all of you who are here live, you're like, I really want to know about AI assistants, so I'm going to show up and watch this. For you, the motivating factor is like, actually, this is a topic I really want to know about. So even though it's a webinar or workshop and I've watched a load of them before, I'm still going to show up and watch this because I really I'm motivated by the topic. If you don't have that really hot topic for people, engagement is just more difficult. That is just the way that online business works. And so if we refresh the format of how we're delivering these things, it can be a really novel way to engage our audience and bring people into our space in a way that gives them value without them needing to take a lot of mental load or mental labor before they get to the win. So we can create interactive tools that guide people to the outcomes that they can experience, which in turn will provide them with momentum for working with you and trusting you to solve the problems that they have, the challenges that they're facing, or the goals that they're trying to work towards. So instead of spending hours and hours creating a lead magnet that fits with your brand and your customer journey and all of that good stuff, and then hours and hours designing it into a really aesthetic Google document or PDF, and getting all of that set up, you can create a public-facing AI assistant that leads your ideal customers and audience to the point of transformation without them needing to engage with a PDF or workbook. And it can provide them with contextually relevant details so that each interaction is personalized in a way that is simply not possible to do with a PDF or a file in your G Drive. So in terms of time saved, you don't have the design factor. I can create a lead magnet AI assistant in less than 20 minutes at this point from scratch. It's very, very straightforward now that I have that system down. And that is, saving a significant amount of time compared to how I would previously create my lead magnets. So a conservative estimate, again, is that it's going to save 3 hours per lead magnet, but it also really improves the engagement rates with your content and with your lead magnets, because people have this novel experience of getting a response that is directly relevant to what they're experiencing and what they need. The next example is for virtual events or summits. So if you run any kind of summits or collaborative events, then you can engage your attendees, highlight speakers and sessions, and help people find what they need in a way that improves engagement with the individual sessions at your event. So one of the things that AI addresses is how overwhelmed people are on the internet by the volume of content that is available. People want context, not content. And so if we can build tools that provide people with that context more quickly, they might not engage with the entire event or the entire summit, but they will engage with the pieces that are directly relevant to them and to what they need. And so even though we're not seeing them consume every single piece of content, they are going to watch the things that are relevant to them and take the action that they want to take, which means that their experience of your event will feel successful to them. So when we're thinking about the idea of engagement for some of these virtual events, the idea of AI assistants is, how do we provide more context for people so that they can enjoy the elements of your event that you've created and curated, that are going to really help them to feel excited about being a part of it. So you might manually manage event details, including your attendee engagement, answering queries about some of the different sessions and what's relevant to people at what stage of business or life. And you're trying to do all of that and manage all of that communication while also make sure that the event experience as a whole, all of the other component parts and everyone involved in it has what they need, whether that is an attendee or a speaker or a collaborator. And it is a whirlwind of activity. I have hosted 3 big summits that had a total of over it was over 150 sessions across all 3 of the summits. And each session was an individual speaker, and I managed that single-handedly. It was ridiculous. At some point I might talk about it in like a debrief or something. But it is exhausting. It's fun and it's really great to be able to do these things, but it takes a lot of energy, and the amount of interaction and communication that is happening during that event to make sure that each attendee feels like they have everything that they need is a really substantial cost to your business in terms of your time, your energy, and your team's time and energy as well. So when we're using them for virtual events or summits, you can use them to engage with specific elements of the event that are relevant to them. So you can give them advice on where to go and what to do and what to listen to. But you can also provide answers as well as guiding them through some of the key takeaways that you want them to take from the event. So the way that I have used virtual event summits assistants, like insert whichever here, I've done 2 different events now where I've created an AI assistant for it, and I have actually created them as a way. So for Low Ticket Live, I created one that was about the event itself and it highlighted all the different speakers, just as an example of how you can do that and get specific recommendations if you're doing something that's very content heavy. And then within my talk, I created an AI assistant that helps people to get implementable takeaways and action points from the 15-minute session that I delivered. So both of those things were super fun and got a really good amount of engagement from them. And it was a really nice way to show up as an event as an event speaker as well. Like I'm speaking at somebody else's event. It's a really high value way to show up, is to be able to do some of these things that are going to improve the overall event for everyone else involved as well. Now, if you are hosting your own event, then this is going to save you well over 10 hours. Again, context is key. And it might be that you're running a small scale event and it isn't going to necessarily save you as much time. If you're running one of the summits that I have run in the past, it was pre-AI, so unfortunately I wasn't able to benefit from it then. But having this set up now would easily save us 40 hours in the event, easily save that amount. So that's the virtual event and summit assistant. Now we've got the course assistant. So this can help to improve yours and your students' online course experience, including course-related queries and resources. You can also create course assistants that help to give your students the takeaway or the win as part of the homework that they're doing, so that the context for how they implement what you're teaching or telling them to do is much easier for them to understand and dwell in. So before, you might be spending hours each week answering the same questions from students and creating content, managing course logistics. Students can very easily feel lost or overwhelmed, and you can find it challenging to provide personalized support to everyone. That is just the nature of doing one-to-many courses online. The repetitive nature of these tasks can be very draining to your energy and your creativity. That is not a negative thing. It is no reflection on your audience in any way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of fact, right? We are if we're having to say the same thing multiple times, then that is a draining space to be in. And actually, we are responsible for making sure that people have the information that they need. So if we find ourselves repeating ourselves often, we need to look at our systems and think, how can I improve this experience for my audience so that they can more easily get this information without me needing to manually provide it. When you're looking at course assistants, you can create custom AI assistants that answer things like the frequently asked questions. That would work for sales if you're wanting to lead people through information about the sale. But you can also create an AI assistant that provides personalized content recommendations as people go through your membership or your course, or if you've got a signature program, and guide them through a learning journey that is more personal to them and to their experiences. So you can improve the course experience for your student and have more time to focus on creating the high value content that you enjoy creating if you are a course creator, and being able to then spend time engaging with your students in a more meaningful way, because you're not spending your available social energy or communication time answering repetitive questions. You can be much more present and relational with the people who are in your programs. And so if you were delivering a live program or a live course, you can estimate that you would save 6 hours per week here, but it will also improve your student satisfaction and engagement levels. And again, we want to frame it that we're not aiming to get everyone to do 100% of what you have. We're aiming for people to do the things that are relevant to what they need, and that is what success looks like for them. So we don't want people to feel like they have to consume every single video or every single piece of content. We want to be able to guide them through the elements that are going to help them to feel like it was a successful experience. This is number 8, I think. Yeah, number 8 is the brainstorming buddy. And this will help with things like generating new ideas and getting creative solutions to some of the things that you're working on in your business. If you are an external processor, this is going to be invaluable. If you're an internal processor with a team, this is also going to be invaluable. So if you are an external processor and you work on your own, one of the difficult things is getting that sense of momentum from interacting with somebody else and working through the intellectual and cognitive processes of a new idea and getting it to the point where it feels like it's ready. If you're an internal processor, it can just take a bit longer to get to the point where you're ready to communicate what your idea is to the team that you're working with, whether you've got a VA or a business partner or you've got a bigger team. And so having a brainstorming buddy is really great for that sense of momentum, but it's also great at giving us words and language and more concrete concepts for our ideas before we would otherwise be ready to crystallize it into something concrete, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So you might get stuck in a rut. You might be trying to come up with new ideas on solutions on your own to problems that you're facing in your business. You might have an idea, but the leap to execution from that idea has got so many different blocks and barriers that you lose momentum. And the process can be very slow and frustrating, and it leads us to creative block and then missed opportunities because we are stuck in a space that feels muddy and weedy instead of sparkly and light and joyful. And the idea of having a brainstorming buddy is that you can have a tool that helps you work through your ideas and gives you interactive feedback and different angles that you can consider based on the inputs that you give to it. And it is a really great way for you to be able to externalize your thoughts in a way that works for your brain. So this can save you 60 minutes per week. Again, all of my estimates are conservative when it comes to how much time you can save with these things, because it isn't just about how much time do you save doing that task. It's also the other resources that are attached to our time, like our confidence, our creativity, our skills, and the energy that we have and that we bring to things. And so all of those factors mean that if we have tools that support us and our way of thinking and our businesses and our brains, we can feel much more able to tackle some of the hard things that we would normally put off, because we're like, great, I've got some space to address that, and I've got some time to recharge. I've got some space to think about that. So this is a really helpful tool for taking the innovative and ideas-based elements of your work and creating a support system for yourself to make sure that those ideas become reality. The final AI assistant to talk about is our customer support assistant. And this can help with drafting responses and providing easy ways for your customers and potential customers to get contextually relevant answers to their questions. So you might currently be spending a lot of time in your inbox manually manually responding to different customer queries, spending hours crafting responses, repeating the same information. If you're a product-based business owner, things like shipping policies, returns procedures, and product details is a really huge part of the customer support that gets hammers into your inbox in Q4 especially. If you're a service provider, then you might be dealing with things like negative emails occasionally, where people have got an issue and you're just needing to communicate things in a way, but your emotions get in the way, and then it's like, oh, this email is going to take me 2 hours to reply to because I am just overthinking it and needing to spend some time thinking about the most tactful way to respond to this. So these things can all be very draining, and somebody somewhere, I'm sure, has a program for inbox trauma that many of us would benefit from. But afterwards, if we have an AI assistant who is briefed on our business, we can generate very, very high quality responses to customers that we just need to check over and make sure they're accurate before we send them. And that is a minimal amount of work. And it also reduces the amount of energy that we're spending on some of the, complaints and things that are part of a naturally growing business. Like if you're getting complaints, we obviously want to minimize them, but getting complaints and having to deal with negative emails is a mark of a healthy and growing business. And so we want to accept that we have to face those things if we want to grow our business, and we want to put things in place that are going to help us to address them much more confidently with our resources and our energy. The time saved here is a repeat from the previous slide, apparently. So this, again, varies hugely depending on what your business is. But for customer support, again, I would say at least 30 minutes a day is a reasonable expectation for what you can expect to save if you're going through a particularly busy period as well. So if you're doing like a launch or something, you always have a higher volume of emails, and during those times, then the time saved would be more significant. So AI assistants can help us to streamline our 99 problems so that we can spend less time with having like 999 items on our to-do list, to go back to that. And I built Marketing Magic. As I said, I have been building this for the last couple of years and working on this quite significantly as part of my day-to-day. I spend a huge amount of time working with AI, and it is an award-winning AI powered tool that I built initially to help me deal with my own business bottlenecks. So it's now become this go-to tool, which I mentioned previously, for thousands of business owners who are wanting to do high quality and high impact marketing. But when we ask ourselves about all of the other parts of our business that are much more niche and don't need a whole app to help solve them, how can you use AI to solve those 57 other problems? And so that is the background context for where this program has come from, which is the How to Build Custom GPTs and AI Assistants 4-week program. And you can get $500 off this. This is ridiculous. That's over 50% off the program, right? But it's the first time I have launched this to a wider group of people. And the idea is that during this 4-week program, we are going to help you build your dream team of AI assistants who can help you streamline some of the gnarly areas of your business that are draining your creative energy and joy. And you can get some of the boring bits automated and scale your business to whatever you want that to look like. So this is the sales page. Everyone's seen a sales page at this point. I'm not going to dwell too much on it, but I wanted to just go down to the details section and talk to you about what is involved in each of the modules. So it's a 4-week group program. It is live. I am very present throughout the live programs that I host. And I also have team members now who are able to help with support and feedback when it comes to things like the prompts and things behind your AI assistants. So I'm really, really excited to be hosting this. And we are kicking off kickoff on Monday, the 9th of September. And that first module is looking at getting to grips with AI technology and the potential that it has for your specific business. So it sets the stage and introduces you to things like custom GPTs and AI assistants. We talk about the differences between them, what you need, what the component parts are, etc. And then we also walk through an audit of your business to say, these are the things that we want to focus on when it comes to building out AI assistants and setting those priorities. So that's the first week. In the second week, we are going to go through building AI assistants for your business's internal processes. So this is for things like your, client delivery processes, anything where you're doing things. It's things like your customer support, drafting emails, anything that is an internal process, and you're just wanting to smooth and streamline your own workflows. That's what we'll be looking at in the second week, which is module 2. And then module 3 looks at building AI assistants that interact with your customers, clients, and audience, and how you can create them in a way that engages people with what you do and leads them to the point of transformation. So in module 3, then you will have a tool that people can interact with, and it might be a lead magnet or an event assistant. There's all manner of things that you can choose from. And then in the final week, we are looking at processes for building different types of GPTs and AI assistants for things that are like more diverse in terms of the areas that you focused on for your AI assistant in week 2 and your AI assistant in week 3. And when you are going through this, there is a whole lot of extra stuff because it's a live program. So in module 2 and module 3, you will build a finished AI assistant that week, and you can submit it to me to get feedback and review it and make sure that everything is working as optimally as possible. And you will get feedback on both of those assistants as part of this program. I've also been testing out GPTs and AI assistants for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months quite intensively, knowing that I was going to be launching this program. And I've got some debriefs where I'm going to be talking through, what I did, why I did it, and what the reasoning was behind it, and whether I would recommend you doing it. There are also 10 templates for GPTs and AI assistants that you can use for various business tasks and scenarios. So you can just take those templates, put your own information into them, and then they are good to go once you've set them up. And that is going to make a lot of this super easy and straightforward for you as well. And then the final bonus that I've added in, this is a secret, only you know about it, but I've got a new co-working club called the AI Co-working Club for people who are inside my AI Training Academy and AI Incubator. And we have some weekly co-working sessions that will be happening during the program. But I am also giving you 6 months of membership to the AI Co-working Club. So you can come along to those co-working sessions, ask questions, share the results of what you're creating, and really just get the support and community side of things to continue to optimize your business as well. So all of those elements are included as part of this. And the idea is that you're going to save at least an hour a day and be able to create these custom GPTs and AI assistants for all kinds of different areas in your business. And that calculates out to 260 hours saved over the next year, the next working year. So if you were to take 52 weeks of the year and you say you work 5 days a week and you end up with 260 days. Now, I know we have vacation time and stuff in there as well, but realistically, 260 hours over the course of a year is a reasonable thing to expect. And that does not include the amount of engagement that you get from your audience as a result of having improved tools that lead people to the point of transformation much more quickly and efficiently than you're able to do when you are managing everything as a small business owner. So this is normally, where is the price here? It's normally a normal price of $997 for this 4-week program. You get lifetime access to the content and the templates, etc., and the bonuses. But if you use the code Early Assistance before midnight tonight Pacific, you will get $500 off. So let's just do this in real time and apply that so we can see what that looks like. $500 off. So when you sign up, you get that $500 off. You can join this program for $497. And when I tell you, I know for a fact that this is a steal. It is such a good price for the amount of time that you're saving. You are going to, for every hour that you save, like if an hour of your time is worth $50 to you, it is going to cost you $2 to buy back 1 hour of your time in the next year. Does that make sense? So if you're saving 260 hours, this is costing $497. Under $2 per hour, you can buy back that time by learning how to build AI assistants in your business. So it really is something that I'm excited to walk you through to deliver this program. Super excited to work with you in terms of the context of your business as well. But the main reason that I get so excited about this stuff is because when you automate the stuff that you don't like doing or that drains your time, that drains your energy, it is absolutely immense what you open up for your business in terms of potential and joy and the impact that you really want to be having rather than getting stuck in the weeds. So we are seeing people using AI for all kinds of things, but when we get past the shiny object syndrome, we get past the squirrel energy of a new toy to play with, the tangible impact of building our AI systems in our businesses is that we can get back to the vision and mission that we have for our business, whether that is providing for your family, having more time to spend with your children and watching their sports, pursuing your hobbies, building relationships, spending that time in other areas of your business. That is what we unlock with the automations that extend our ability to do things in our business. So we're not seeing AI as a replacement, we're seeing it as an extension of our capacity. And that is a really important element for so many small business owners, because even if we say we don't want AI to replace humans, so we're going to take a principle against it, unless we grow our businesses to the point where we can sustain other members of staff and financially support other members of staff, it's irrelevant if we take a stand and say AI can't replace humans. We need to get our businesses to the point where they are making profit and paying us for the time that we're spending in them, and then paying other humans to join us in that work as well. And it is very difficult to do that if you don't have a clone of yourself. And so when we're thinking about AI assistants, we're really thinking, how can I extend my capacity so that this business can support me, support my family, support my goals, support my lifestyle, build the legacy that I want to build, and really help you to end up with a team if you want that, but build a life and a business that works for you instead of you being a slave to your business, working for pennies on the hour because you have so much to do and there just isn't the margin there for it. So there's all of these things that, issues for us, regardless of what stage of business we're at. We face versions of this. If you have a small team already, a lot of those people get stretched because they have too much to do as well. Like until you've got a team of 20 plus people, most people are overworked. And having the ability to create AI assistants that streamline that does a huge amount for your overall productivity and impact as a business. So that's about the program. This is available as an offer until midnight Pacific. As I said, if you are watching with me in the UK, you've got 12 hours because it's 8 p.m. our time, but midnight Pacific is 8 a.m. your time. But I would recommend doing it before you go to bed because you don't want to miss out, right? But using that code early assistance will give you that $500 off, and then we will be getting stuck in on Monday, the 9th of September, and you'll get all of the good templates, and we'll have weekly sessions. Let me talk to you about that here. So begins on Monday, the 9th of September. Each Monday, you'll get a new module, and you can listen to that on a private podcast, or you can watch the tutorials at leisure. It is very technical, so you probably will want to watch it on a screen, but I am providing you with a private podcast as well. And then on Wednesdays, there will be a live Q&A call at 7 p.m. UK time, and that is 11 a.m. Pacific or 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on Thursdays, there is going to be an AI Assistants co-working session, which I will confirm the time of once you have filled in your onboarding questionnaires, because it depends which time zones we end up with, and I just want to make sure it works for everyone. And then, as I said, you'll be able to submit submit 2 of your AI assistants to me and my team for testing and feedback as well. So that's the way that the program works. And if you want to save $500 and join me inside it, then the code is early assistance, and you've got 12 hours to make your decision on that. And you will get access to the replay and all of this information as well. If you would like to see some of the takeaways, let me find you some reviews from people who have talked about the AI stuff that I've done. I haven't put these on here because it's not relevant to this particular course, but Marketing Magic is a tool that supports people with their AI. So in terms of showing my credibility, we have a really high quality rating on Trustpilot, and you can read a bit more about the impact of that over there if you want to. It's available on my website, but I'm always happy to share that. I am going to pop the link to this in the chat, and then let me do the sales page link, and then code is early assistance. Put that in the chat here, and then I'm going to go back through and I am going to answer your questions. So that's a wrap for the training, and this formally begins our Q&A session. So if you have questions, you can add them into the chat, and I'm going to skim through and make sure that I get all of your questions. If I miss a question, I will be revisiting the chat afterwards, and I will make sure that I follow up with you on that. Okay, can you add this tech assistant inside a membership to help others with the tech? Yes, Carrie, that is one of the course assistant examples that is inside the program, is how you can create tools within your courses that will help people to take action on things as well. Would a course assistant idea be able to help collect FAQs from a chat channel? Yes, potentially. You might need to do some integration with it. In terms of real-time stuff, I can follow up with you with that one, Gina, just because I know that there's more crossover between us because I know Gina. So I'll clarify your question a bit more and then give you a higher quality answer to that one. Will you be speaking of AI assistants in the platform of AI? Yes, that's what we're talking. We're talking about AI assistants in general and setting them up, Sky. Cindy, when does it start? Monday, the 9th of September is the first module, and the modules are listen on demand and then the live Q&A sessions. There's one on a Wednesday evening, and I will probably put a second one in depending on how many people sign up and depending on the time zones, but there is going to be a minimum of one live Q&A on a Wednesday, and then I might add in a second one that is for anyone who's in a time zone where they might want to have an alternative option. So that's to be confirmed, but there is definitely one on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and then I just will add things in if people need them. Can we see any examples of your assistants or bots? Yes, you can. I will include links to them in the follow-up email. I'll show you some in a second as well on here, but I just need to open the tabs up. Is there a payment plan option? Lindsay, yes, there will be from tomorrow, and the payment plan will be a 3-pay. Shannon, any restrictions on using the info to help our clients build an AI assistant? Shannon, you won't be able to use the templates with your clients. They are for your own business only, but if you wanted to use them with your clients, that is a conversation we can have. Are these assistants built using MMA as well? Do I need a paid account with Claude or GPT? So if you want to, you'll need to have an OpenAI account and for building out AI assistants. If you're wanting to build out custom GPTs, then you will need to have a paid ChatGPT account because you can't create custom GPTs without that. But there are other ways that you can provide an assistant interface without using ChatGPT. So all of the pros and cons of that will be addressed in this, but in order to build AI assistants, you have to have access to AI. So you will need to have a way of doing that. And realistically, it might be costing you a few cents if you're only building internal processes, or it could be part of your, up to $20 a month if you're creating external tools. Do any of your other programs overlap with this, like prompt engineering and repurposing content? No, they do not. This is specific to this program. So as far as building out AI assistants, this is only covered within this particular course. Will this help someone who has very little experience with AI building other than marketing magic? Yes, Naomi, it is suitable for any tech level. So all of the tutorials are walkthroughs with screens and specific, specific links for exactly what you need to do. And then there are also templates so that you can copy and paste the templates, and it's really, really straightforward to do. So I have spent a lot of time teaching technical things to people, and even though this sounds like some of the most complicated, it is actually much, much more straightforward than even doing things like SEO on your website, because it is simply just logging into things and putting things in the right place. It's a process that is really straightforward. If you are struggling with it and you feel like it is too technical, and you don't have time to really build things out in the way that you wanted to, and the course isn't what you expected it to be, I do have a money back guarantee on this program for 14 days. But I promise you that if you join this, you are going to just absolutely buzz with ideas, because it really unlocks a huge amount of energy, creativity, space. It's super fun. Can you build an AI assistant for creating product mock-ups with call-outs? Karen, product mock-ups is a slightly more tricky one. I am happy to talk about this in the program and answer these types of questions. But anything with visuals, where you're wanting it to do things, there's some other components that need to be considered. So that is something that I will do a bit of information on, but it isn't something that you would use an AI assistant for, because you need to pull like screenshots and things from other areas. So you could definitely have an AI assistant that gives you the breakdown of what graphics to create and what information to include on them, but you would need to take that and then implement it elsewhere. Megan, could you give an estimate of how much time we'll need to put in weekly to keep on track and create the assistants? So if you were to, so the tutorials are like 30 minutes to 40 minutes maximum. If you were to then come to the live Q&A call, that is likely to be an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how many questions there are. The replay will be available. You might not need to ask me anything. And then the actual build out of the assistance is really straightforward, and there are templates for it as well. So the first week is there's not as much implementation, so it's going to be under an hour. The second and third weeks will be slightly more time intensive, and then the fourth week is looking at the other areas of your business. So it's really how many assistants do you want to build. I have put on the sales page between 2 and 3 hours per week, just for making sure that there is a sense of space and expectation from people. But if you're more comfortable and confident with tech, it might be that you can do it more quickly than that. And if you're not wanting to come along to the co-working sessions, for instance, then that would reduce that time down as well. Can you submit your questions if you can't make it to the live calls? Yes, you can, absolutely. This sounds really grand in the creation. Do we collaborate, or do you expand on ideas how to use them specifically in our businesses? Yes, I walk you through in the course how to identify it, how to identify areas in your business. And then if you want to go into that in a bit more detail, you can come along and ask questions in the live Q&A. You don't get one-to-one collaboration in the program, because that would be a much more expensive program, but you can get feedback on that as part of the live Q&A calls, and the program is designed to help you identify the specific areas in your business where you would want to add in an AI assistant. Bex, so if I've created an AI assistant I want to make publicly available for a price, will this program help move the front end access piece? Yes, so we'll walk through what you need to do for that. You will need to have an additional piece of software for the front end, but there's a couple of options that are available that are basically going to cost you like $20 a month maximum. If you are already paying for something like ChatGPT Plus, that isn't an extra thing that you need to pay for, but there are just pros and cons to it. So when you're looking at that front end access piece, the two main ways that I recommend and show how to do both cost $20 a month. So that's just to give you an expectation of it, but you might already be paying for them. So hopefully that makes sense. Lee, I will definitely be joining with a payment plan option tomorrow. I can just imagine how valuable this will be after having the amazing marketing magic already. So exciting. Thanks so much, Lee. I am super excited to hear that. This is like, I am not a good salesperson. I will own up to that. Like, I just enjoy being nerdy and sharing information too much to be a good salesperson. This is the closest thing to a sales webinar I've done for absolutely ages. And even then we were, looking at the sort of ways in which things apply a lot more than the time spent on the pitch side of things. But I only ever do them if I'm really excited about what it is that I've created, and that I'm really excited that it can have an impact. So I hope that you enjoyed this workshop. I hope that it was helpful and gave you some ideas as far as AI's potential when it comes to the impact it can have on your business. This program is the thing I've been most excited about for a while in terms of a 4-week container and the stuff that I've been working on for it. I'm really excited about it. You will be able to easily build 10 AI assistants before the end of October if you want to, because the templates are really helpful in terms of getting those things set up as well. And I have also just been a lot more transparent about my own behind the scenes processes and the way that I do things and my own systems in this program, because it is relevant to it. So you get a behind the scenes look at my own workflows in a way that I rarely offer to people, because a lot of the systems that I'm building are my intellectual property. So this program does give a bit more insight into that, and I talk more about the breakdown of workflows and things as well, and how to approach it. So when you get the replay link for this workshop, I will also include a tool for you to be able to check out ideas for GPTs for your own business. But I will also include some links for some of the AI assistants that I have in my own business, and you can interact with them and have some fun with that as well and see how you get on. And if you have any questions or anything, then you can let me know, pop an email, just hit reply to an email and let me know. Lucy and Laura are around to answer questions. I am not in my inbox as much because it is a space that I just find super overwhelming. But Laura and Lucy are around, and I will be hopping in to answer some questions. But if you see a response from them, it's because they are my mighty team of inbox communicators. Will a transcript be available for these calls so we can return to the materials without having to watch the whole thing again, Naomi? Yes, it will. And there will also be timestamps, so you can specifically see which parts you might want to go back to if you want to rewatch it. Just because of the screen share element for some of it, I always want to make sure it's easy to go back to the visual point as well, so you can see what I've done. Valentina, will the discount code be applicable with a payment plan or the payment plan for the full price? The payment plan will only be available from tomorrow when the early bird discount code has ended. The early bird offer is $500 off the pay in full price. And then if you want to do a payment plan, that will be a 3-pay option on the $997 price. Awesome. So I think I've covered everyone's questions. Like I said, I will go back and double check and make sure that I have answered everything. And if I haven't, then I will circle back and make sure that you get the answer that you're asking for. But just as a reminder, the link is on the screen, and it is that CustomGPTs link, and the code is early assistance. So I'm just going to pop that into the chat again as well. And you will get this delivered via email with the replay as soon as the replay has finished processing in the next 40 minutes or so. If you need anything else or have any other questions, then reach out. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this foray into all things AI assistants, and do take advantage of this offer. Snag yourself a bargain. I promise you it will be the best $497 that you have spent for your admin for maybe literally ever. You will have a great time with it, and we're going to really dive into some of the gnarly things that drain your time and energy, and hopefully I'll see you inside the course. Yes, Camille, there will be examples in the email. I'm going to link you up for that so you can explore it in your own time. And if you are wanting to take advantage of the early bird offer, the email will go out to you in the next 40 minutes. So you'll still have 11 hours to check out all my little examples and then to be able to make a decision as well. So there's time for you to play about with those, if that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. The chat has been popping. It has been really great to hang out with you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And I'll touch base with you soon. Just keep an eye out on your inbox for an email from me, and I'll have those examples with you ASAP.